Thank you for checking out 2Tex10 Swamp Watch, where we wade through the swamp and see where the swamp creatures are lurking and what they're up to. I go by 2Tex10. Most people just call me John. Either way, it doesn't make a difference to me, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. Now let's dive into this.
Question, thank you, John. Question, thank you, John. Question, thank you, John.
By the way, whatever happened to Hunter? Where the hell is he?
It went to Hunter Biden.
It was Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden's.
Is it the first thing you think about when you wake up, the last thing you think about when you go to bed?
No, it really isn't. And the reason is because I know where I stand with my dad. I know where I stand with my family. Being the subject of Donald Trump's ire is a feather in my cap.
A feather in your cap? Yeah, because nobody knew who the hell you were before he opened his mouth and said your name. Nobody. Well, I guess Burisma Holdings and all them knew who you were. Because that's where your money lays.
It's not something that I go to bed nervous about at night at all. The reason I'm able to do that is because I am absolutely enveloped in love of my family. I certainly hope that there is no negative political ramifications of this.
Hopefully there's no political ramifications for this, huh? Doubt it too. There probably won't be. CNN, NBC, ABC, these places ain't gonna report on this. They should. If they did, they'd get a whole lot of views. You know how many people would want to watch this? It's like a reality TV show here. Instead, these Democrats live in the Matrix. I guess, they're hands in hands with Hollywood. They're over here dodging bullets like they're best friends with Neo and shit. As for your family, we know where you lay with your family. I mean, Stan. Well, for you, those words are interchangeable, so.
Don't worry. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning to you. They're keeping it in the family, Michael. Together, Hallie and Hunter reportedly finding love after sharing an unimaginable loss, but not without the blessing of the family's patriarch, Joe Biden.
What more can I say about that? Keep it in the family. Insert incest joke there. Jeez, man. Leaders of the free world.
I think that the truth always wins.
Do you think you're a distraction right now to your father's campaign?
No, personally, myself, I'm not necessarily a distraction to his campaign. I'm never a
Who, me? Couldn't be. How could I be a bothersome? I'm his son. That's what that's supposed to insinuate. But the fact is, I guarantee if you ask him about his actions, he won't want to respond. Or he probably won't even have a response. Or he'll divert it with some other double-sorted ass answer.
And I never will. That's not what Bidens do. My dad doesn't go after other people's kids. He just doesn't. Never has.
My dad doesn't go after people's kids. Lie. Just look up Uncle Creepy Joe Biden all over the internet or even YouTube. You'll find plenty of videos there. At the same time, not to mention, his dad is now more mindful of other people's spaces because he makes them uncomfortable. What do you call somebody that makes you uncomfortable? Freaking creepy. Jeez, man.
Social norms have begun to change, they've shifted, and the boundaries of protecting personal space have been reset. And I get it. I get it. I hear what they're saying. I will be more mindful and respectful of people's personal space. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. The idea that I can adjust to the fact that personal space is important, more important than it's ever been, is just not thinkable. I will.
Oh, Nasty Nancy below me wants to go ahead and chime in some advice. Some words of wisdom from the almighty Shiva.
I think that it's important for the Vice President and others to understand is it isn't what you intended, it's how it was received.
I think Creepy Creeperton Biden was already taking her advice. Because whatever she was trying to convey with that hand was just as creepy as anything this man's been doing. Bunch of creepy critters running around that bitch. Place.
I'm a member of the Straight Arm Club. I'm a straight armor. And all of this. Just pretend you have a cold and I have a cold.
Straight Arm Club. We know she ain't a part of the Straight Shooter Club. She never shoots straight. And I wouldn't have to worry about pretending if you had a cold. I think you got a little bit more than a cold. Because you're already pretty sick. But let's get back to the original task at hand. Old little Biden.
no one votes or will vote for or against my dad because of me.
Yeah.
And my dad knows that. Do you still believe that?
100%. They know who my dad is. My dad doesn't have to defend me. My dad only has to love me.
Silly little bastard. Look how you contorts a simple statement. My dad doesn't have to defend me. No, your dad shouldn't have to defend you. And you shouldn't do things in which your dad should have to defend. But at the same token, your dad shouldn't have given you opportunities in which he created his own wormhole in which he would have to defend. So, who is at the fault here? You or him? I would have to say both of you, because you're an adult too, right? My daddy doesn't have to defend me. Man, go jump in a lake.
Yeah, maybe lock her up goes to lock him up.
I mean, who cares? Look, like I've said, I've been through some stuff in my life. I've been through some real stuff.
Those reactions look just like his daddy's reactions. That boy ain't been through no real stuff. He's been through some real tough withdrawals from cocaine and probably other habituates. That dude's crazy out of his mind. Been through some real stuff. Man, again, go jump in a lake.
This isn't real stuff. It isn't. It truly isn't.
This isn't real stuff. We still in the same conversation here? Or are you over there thinking you're still talking to your drug dealer? This isn't real stuff. Well, you know what? You probably know what real stuff is. Probably better than the stuff that you were doing and got kicked out of the service for, right? Now you got billions of dollars and millions. Get you that good China shit, right? Man.
In and out of rehab 7-8 times.
Say it nicer to me. Sought treatment
Sought
for
treatment.
an issue like
Sought
most
treatment
people.
for substance abuse
Yes,
issues
so
7 or 8
insensitive.
times. I'm so sorry. But I want, like, I think this is a human question.
Man, you see how out the frame you got on that? Say the facts nicer to me. Facts are the facts. 7, 8 times you've been, so you're in and out of rehab for substance abuse, for cocaine abuse. Looks like you grit your teeth for some cocaine right now. How long you been out of rehab for that? Man. Damn demon rat.
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know. Probably not. But that's, I don't think that there's a lot of things that would have happened in my life that if my last name wasn't Biden.
Why did you leave the board in April?
It's a 5-year term.
And you chose not to
I chose
continue.
not to. Yeah.
Why?
I think it's pretty obvious why.
This is your opportunity to say why.
Well, because I think that this is what becomes a distraction, because I have to sit here and answer these questions. And so that's why I've committed that I won't serve on any boards or I won't work directly for any foreign entities when my dad becomes president. What I regret is not taking into account that there would be a Rudy Giuliani and a president of the United States that would be listening to this ridiculous conspiracy idea, which has, again, been completely debunked by everyone.
Probably not, if my name wasn't Biden. How about not at all if your dad wasn't Vice President of the United States? How about that? And then the fact is, you say that it's been debunked and proven not factual. By who? What investigation? Who's done it? Because CNN said? What did they investigate? And who is CNN? Clinton News Network, right? Jesus, man. And food for thought. Let's just think about this for a second. If I was, or if you were Vice President of the United States, and you know there was corruption and political nonsense and effery going on over there in the Ukraine, and you're going over there, I don't remember if it's prior or after John Kerry taking $1 billion and then saying they're going to make a committee to investigate corruption and so that no more politicians can take money out of the Ukraine. Red flag. I'm not going to let my child go over there, get onto a board at Burisma, who's being investigated by the UK for money laundering and other felonious capers. I'm going to say, no, you're not going over there. You got no business over there, and right now is not a good time for you to be over there. I mean, common sense. Common sense goes out the window when you don't think anyone's paying attention to what you're doing behind the window. Come on, man. Let's see what other stuff we can find out that's been investigated that he says has been rebuked and debunked. Nothing, as far as I'm concerned.
Today, Joe Biden hit back at allegations over his son Hunter, saying there was nothing corrupt about the firing of that Ukrainian prosecutor. But that is a total dodge. The real scandal is not about the firing of the damn prosecutor. It's about U.S. cash for Ukraine gas. It involves not just the Bidens, but former Secretary of State John Kerry and a growing number of Democratic senators, as our special investigation will reveal tonight.
Dang, I thought I was irritated with this effery and nonsense on the left side, or at least out of the Bidens. Let's see what this guy actually dug up and found out.
To investigate. Just this week, 2 of Rudy Giuliani's associates were arrested for allegedly paying a man, believed to be former Texas Republican member of Congress Pete Sessions, $20,000 for his help in ousting our former ambassador to Ukraine, who they thought was blocking their business aims. Congressman Sessions wrote a letter to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo calling for the ambassador to be fired, and the ambassador was eventually recalled. Now, all of that looks dodgy as hell, and it's quite right that Attorney General Barr has given the green light to arrest these 2 men.
So the Attorney General, Barr, what the left quote-unquote calls Trump's personal attorney, sees some effery going on the Trump side or even Giuliani side, and says, go ahead and arrest those 2 cohorts. We don't need that mess going on. He's being objective, or what do you call bipartisan, and he's not playing a side. But the left don't do that. Can't get the left to do that. Everything that they're basically accusing the Trump campaign and Trump doing, Biden just airs it out like it's no big deal, like he's some kind of mafioso thug. Yep, you ain't getting your $1 billion, and I'm leaving on this damn plane in 6 hours. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. They fired him. Yeah, because you know what, you leverage $1 billion on anybody, let alone a nation. You think they're going to bend to your will? Man, this left shit. God. They can't see nothing right. Maybe I should pop the left eye and all these left critics so that they can see shit right.
If only we had the same investigative zeal on the other side.
We ain't gonna see that on the left side. All them fools just live in the dark. Everything's dark to them. Only thing they see clearly is shit because their head's so far up their ass. Jesus, man.
2 days after that meeting, on April the 18th, Hunter Biden joined the Burisma board too.
So 2 days after his little trip to Ukraine with his daddy on Air Force Two. Oh, but he was only there chaperoning his daughter. And what was daughter going out there with Grandpa to Ukraine for? What else is wrong with this timeline?
Let me remind you of the details here. In early 2014, someone called Devon Archer, who was the longtime business partner of Joe Biden's son, Hunter, joined the board of Ukraine's largest gas company, Burisma. On April the 16th, 2014, Archer had a private meeting with Vice President Biden at the White House late into the night, according to White House records. And 3 days after that, on April the 21st, Vice President Biden went to Ukraine with promises of U.S. taxpayer cash for the Ukrainian gas industry.
So late meetings. This Devon Archer's got that kind of pull. The longtime business associate of Hunter Biden. Something that they didn't catch in there, or they didn't report, is that Devon Archer is a key friend to the Kerrys. And actually, if my memory serves me right, he is the ex-college roommate of Kerry's stepson. I can't remember his name. Hines? Last name is Hines? So the circle may go out, but it just gets tighter. Does that make sense? Now you got Kerry in the mix. who was actually out there in the Ukraine before Biden went over there, wagering $1 billion. Rinse, repeat.
It's been reported that in the years following Joe Biden's April 2014 visit, his son Hunter was paid $50,000 a month for his Burisma board seat. But bank records taken from an unrelated FBI raid of Devon Archer's office in 2016 showed that Biden and Archer's firm, Rosemont Seneca, received monthly payments from Burisma with sums of over $150,000, sometimes even as high as $220,000.
So anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000 is being deposited on a monthly basis to Rosemont Seneca. Now, it's being managed by Archer and Hunter Biden. But Rosemont Seneca is actually owned by the Kerrys. And it's something to do with their acreage and it's their how they got money in the beginning, something like that. But it's Rosemont is a Kerry thing. So now you have Biden and the Kerrys hooked up, and it's through Archer, who was college roommates with John Kerry's son, stepson, I should say, and who is business associates for long term with Hunter Biden. And he's got the pull to go inside the White House and have long meetings with Joe Biden into the evening, who says he's never had any conversations about his son's business handling. Oh, maybe that's the loophole. He didn't say no conversation about his son's business doings, but with his son about his business doings. Man, oh man. Corruption? I don't know. You tell me.
According to Fox News contributor John Solomon. What was it about the spectacularly unqualified and inexperienced Hunter Biden that could possibly be worth that much to a Ukrainian gas company? Well, now we know.
Yeah, what could be worth that much? Is it the cocaine habits? Is it the kicked out of the military? Is it the in and out of rehab? Shoot, he was in and out of rehab during his times on this board. Man, I can't even get a job if I take a painkiller from my mom or hit a joint on the weekend and I gotta go take a piss test. But this dude can get kicked out of the military, can be in and out of rehab, doing cocaine, and get $1 million job. Yeah, $1 million. He's getting paid $100,000 plus every month. 100,000 times 12, you do the math, 1.2 million. They were doing in excess of that amount. Why? What's so special about him? We all know what's special about him. And it's not even that special. It's special ed dad. It's his special dad. Well, same thing. Joe Biden. They lobbied basically over $1 million+ to get Joe Biden. That's what they lobbied for. And who else did they lobby for this money, with their money inside the Congress? Let's take a look at that.
Remember Devon Archer, Hunter Biden's business partner? He'd previously been a top fundraiser for John Kerry, who was Secretary of State at the time. And soon after Devon and Hunter joined the Burisma board, the company channeled $90,000 to a lobbying firm called ML Strategies, which was headed by none other than David Leiter, John Kerry's former chief of staff. That's handy because then Secretary of State John Kerry himself has visited Ukraine with promises of U.S. aid and assistance.
So now we're funneling money to lobby. It's legal, it's legit, right? Kerry, Biden, this Devon Archer guy. But where's this committee investigating the corruption and taking the money, making sure money doesn't leave the Ukraine into corrupt politicians? I guess you don't investigate.
Burisma Holdings today applauded the range of U.S. legislative support for development of Ukraine's broad and untapped resources and an increase in transparency and good governance. Yeah, I bet they applauded it. And the value they got from the $90 grand they paid to their new lobbyist, the Democrat political crony of their new board members, Devon Archer and Hunter Biden.
So we moved 90 grand to lobby with, and Burisma Holdings, or Burisma, is applauding and the open governance, or everything's transparent now. Man, go jump in the lake with that nonsense. Let's see what congressman benefited or got money from this Burisma 90 grand deal. Let's see. Of course, Burisma's all happy about it. They get to move money around. They already threw $90,000 so they could lobby. And who are the people that they lobbied? Let's find out who these winners are.
I suppose there could be an innocent explanation. I mean, Senator Ed Markey could, for all we know, be a long-term champion of the gas industry. Senator Ed Markey was the Senate sponsor of the Green New Deal. He wants to shut down gas production in America.
Hypocrite? Hypocrisy? Or just simple, do as I say, but not as I do? Get the... Man, go jump in the lake with some cement boots on. And I don't even think Michael Phelps will help you out. Shit, if anything, you'd probably shove your head down there longer. Too bad it's not holy water. Bless y'all's ass. Bunch of demon rats.
Burisma's lobbyist, Hunter Biden's crony, gave money to Richard Blumenthal 3 times in 2013. The next year, Blumenthal returned the favor by backing legislation that would directly benefit Burisma and Hunter Biden. How is any of this different to the alleged offenses for which those 2 Giuliani cronies were rightly arrested this week? This is the quid pro quo. This is the foreign meddling, foreign interest buying up members of Congress, Democrat senators who hand out policy favors and taxpayer dollars to the highest foreign bidder. This is a massive scandal. U.S. cash for Ukraine gas. Senator Ed Markey, Senator Jeanne Shaheen, Senator Richard Blumenthal, John Kerry, David Leiter, Devon Archer, Hunter Biden, and yes, Joe Biden, who was literally presiding over all of this as it was going on. Of course, it should all be investigated.
Man, damn right it should be investigated. Should be no stone unturned, no ocean drained out. Find all these little nooks and crannies and what the hell they're really doing. Just because there's loopholes and you can technically get away with it doesn't mean that it's still right. I mean, I guess to the other news networks, it's all right.
As President Trump continues to rail against, as far as the evidence shows, baseless claims of corruption.
And we don't know whether Mr. Trump's baseless charges about Joe Biden and Ukraine will make Biden a more sympathetic figure or tarnish him to the benefit of another Democratic candidate.
There is no veracity to any of these allegations about the Bidens.
Baseless claims. Yeah, based on a foundation. Look, man, one day when you see something big going on in the news and they're talking all kinds of trash about Trump, listen to the key phrases they use. They all use them. The same damn phrases each network. It's like they get a conference call from the Clinton Foundation and say, this is the terminology we're going to use today. Jesus, man. Anyways, I appreciate y'all coming through, taking your time to go through the swamp. Man, my name's 2Tex10. Until the next one, guys.